Do you know what percentage of Americans are vitamin D deficient? Hi, I'm Bernice Hunt, and I am a brain health specialist. I work with women just like you who are starting to notice a few memory challenges, and I help you to stay sharp so that as you age, you can still travel, have fun with your grandkids, and experience new adventures without missing a beat. In my 30 years of teaching, I saw milk on every lunch tray every day. Now, these kids didn't have to drink it, but they did have to take it. And that was partly because the milk is fortified with vitamin D. That's been happening since the 1930s, they tell me. They fortified the milk with vitamin D. Did you catch my video that I did a few days ago? A few days ago I did a video. It was on vitamin D. And I was explaining how vitamin D is actually a hormone, not a vitamin. And it does a whole lot more than what you would think. So if you want to listen to that, it's still on my YouTube channel or it's on my Facebook page, Keep Your Brain Sharp. You can find it on there. But today, I wanted to take time to stress how important it is that your brain gets enough vitamin D. Okay, did you know that more than 40% of Americans are vitamin D deficient? And for Black Americans and obese Americans, it jumps up to almost 90%. 90%, that's 9 out of 10, guys. That is not good. And for seniors, vitamin D is the most common deficiency for older adults. And guys, it's not making a whole lot of sense because vitamin D is free. We can get it by going outside, exposing our skin to that sunlight, and our skin will start making the vitamin D. Okay, so it shouldn't be happening. But because of various things, we are not doing that enough. Okay, so what we're doing is we're not spending enough time outside, for one, okay? Or we might go outside, but we're not exposing our skin. But the rays that we need to make vitamin D cannot penetrate through clothing, or like our shoes or pants or hats or whatever. It doesn't penetrate through that. You have to have your skin exposed. And so when you go out, call yourself getting some vitamin D, you should be rolling things up, putting on shorts or whatever. If you want to get out there butt naked, do it in your backyard. Don't do you, but I'm not suggesting that, but get as much clothing off as you can so that your skin will get exposed. The other thing is our timing is all off. By the time we want to go outside, the sun is at a point where it can damage our skin. And so you put on the clothes, you put on the hat and all that kind of stuff to cover up so your skin won't get damaged. So even though you're outside, your body is not making vitamin D. Okay, so there's some reasons why that we're not getting enough from the sun, but luckily there's other ways to get it. Okay, now, what is the big deal about vitamin D? Can't we just take a multivitamin and then get the vitamin D that's in the multivitamin? Yes and no. First of all, you need to check what vitamin you're talking about, what multivitamin you're talking about. Check those labels, number one, to see if it has vitamin D in it, because all of them do not. All right, so check your label to see if they have vitamin D. The second thing is check to see if they have vitamin D3. That's the most potent kind. Or do they have D2, which is less potent? Okay, they did one study and they found out that vitamin D3 did twice as well, okay, with transforming into the active vitamin D hormone that your body can actually use. Twice as well, okay? So if you're going to do the D2, which is plant-based, you have to have more of it to do the same thing, okay? So you need to check and see if it has vitamin D or vitamin D3, D2 or D3. The other thing is you need to see how much is in there, okay? Because many of them only have like 400 IUs in them, which is good for children that are under 12, but that's not enough for adults, okay? So you need to check and see how much is in there, especially if you're a Black American, if you're obese, or if you're a senior, because you need even more, way more than the 400, okay? If you're deficient, you need way more. So just because you're taking the multivitamin does not necessarily mean you're getting enough vitamin D, okay? You have to take those things into consideration. So we know that vitamin D is good for our bones. That's why they put it in the milk. Fortified it a long time ago because they were trying to prevent the kids from getting rickets, which is a bone disease. And so that's why they put it in there, because it's good for your bones, okay? Strengthens your bones, all right? But why is it so important for your brain? There are some reasons why your brain should be getting that vitamin D. Okay, first of all, it is a protector and it's a regulator. In your brain, vitamin D will protect those brain cells and it will regulate. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. First of all, it will protect your brains against damage and deterioration. Okay? So it will slow that thing down and cause you not to have so much damage going on. It will also reduce inflammation that's happening in your brain. That is definitely a good thing. It also will help clear out all the proteins that are actually harming your brain, like gluten, okay? And it'll help clear that stuff out, because if that accumulates in your brain, it starts having an effect on your cognition and your cognitive decline, okay? So you want to clear that stuff out as soon as you can and as much as you can, and vitamin D will help you do that. So because it reduces inflammation and it protects you against damage and deterioration, it will help you be protected from brain diseases like Alzheimer's and multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's, okay? So that will actually help you. It'll lower your risk for those kind of things if you are getting the proper amount of vitamin D. All right, that's how it protects, but it also is a regulator. Talked in my video a few days ago how it's a messenger. It sends signals out, okay? So it communicates helps the brain cells communicate among themselves or between themselves, okay, to regulate things and get things copacetic, okay? That's what you want it to be. So it's a protector and it's a regulator. It also regulates your mood, okay? So it affects your mood. There's a type of depression that's called seasonal affect disorder, okay? And it's a type of depression where in the winter months, people get more depressed, or get that depressed syndrome going on. That's related to not getting enough sunlight exposure, okay? They're not getting out in the sun a lot because, hey, it's winter time, and they get into this depression during those winter months called seasonal affect disorder, okay? And if you have a lack of vitamin D, that can spur that, okay, into happening, all right? So it's a regulator of your mood as well. All right, so and this is the part that really interested me, guys. Getting enough vitamin D is not just for adults, although it is for adults, and older adults definitely need to make sure they're getting the proper amount of vitamin D. But research is telling us that it's an important part of your brain development from the embryo, okay, to the infant, to the child, all the way through your life, okay? It's an important part of it. They're showing us that if your babies have a deficiency in vitamin D, it's linked to autism, it's linked to ADHD, okay? It's linked to things that you would not necessarily connect it to because of the lack of vitamin D. Believe it or not, they're telling us that normal vitamin D levels in the womb, you have normal level of vitamin D in the womb, will reduce your risk of obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, okay, and other nerve system diseases, okay? That just blew my mind, guys. Having a normal level of vitamin D in the womb. That means that your mom, the parent, the mother, needs to be getting enough vitamin D, okay? Get that to that baby, okay? And normal levels of vitamin D as a child gives you a stronger immune system. It also, because you have a stronger immune system, it's going to reduce your risk of immune-related diseases like lupus, type 1 diabetes, multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, all that stuff, guys. Having a normal level of vitamin D as a child. Okay, and then they were saying that also normal levels of vitamin D as a child builds more bone mass, so as you age, you have a lower risk of fractures. And it says lifelong lower risk of fractures if you took the time to get your child having a normal level of vitamin D as a child. So I thought that was just mind-blowing, and for you parents, grandparents, whatever, it is really important. It's not just for adults. Your children, now they get a lower dosage when they're a child, but they need to have normal levels for their age, okay? Now, there's a saying that says, we need vitamin D from the womb to the tomb. And that's what your mindset should be. Okay, so how do you get that vitamin D? 3 ways you can get your vitamin D, guys. Of course, we talked about the sun. Get vitamin D from going out there, exposing your skin the right times of day, guys. Exposing your skin to the sun. Your complexion matters in terms of how long it's safe for you to be out there, and how long you need to be out there for it to actually, your skin ought to be able to produce it, okay? And you can get it from quality supplements, okay? So you need to check the vitamin D that you're buying to make sure that it's going to be able to convert to active vitamin D, all right, and that you're getting a right amount. So you can be checking with your doctor to see, where you're at regarding vitamin D and how much he'd like you to take and what kind of vitamin D he wants you to have, okay? Then also you can get vitamin D from specific foods, okay, like eggs, but it is the egg yolk that's going to give you the vitamin D. So all those egg white recipes and omelets and stuff like that, just know that the nutrients are in the yolk, majority of them, okay? And the vitamin D is definitely in the yolk, all right? So you want to make sure you're having the egg yolk, not just the egg white, okay? Fatty fish like salmon and tuna and sardines, okay? That's going to give you vitamin D as well. Mushrooms will give you vitamin D2, which is a plant source. The vitamin D3 comes from animal sources. So mushroom will give you vitamin D2, but it's still vitamin D. You just might have to do a little bit more of it if you're not getting your D3, okay? All right, so, milk and orange juice, another fortified things with vitamin D you can take as well. But be careful, because like with milk and orange juice, there's a lot of sugar, in that. A lot of saturated fat in the milk, a lot of sugar in that. So you don't want to have those as your primary source of vitamin D. Like with kids, if you don't want your kids, the only vitamin D they're getting is from milk. No, because that has a lot of sugar in it. You don't want the only vitamin D they're having is from orange juice, because it's way too much sugar in orange juice, okay? So even if it's fortified with vitamin D, you can get your vitamin D source from somewhere else, all right? Okay, so get with your doctor, like I said, get tested and see where you are, and let him help prescribe for you what he wants to do to get you at the right level that you need to be, okay? Okay, so guys, I don't know if you know, some of you already know, but in case you don't, I have a new website, still called keepyourbrainsharp.com. Just has a new look, new things in there. Please go check it out and scroll to the bottom, because I have this free subscription. I want you to be one of the first to subscribe to my Never Miss a Recipe. I'm going to be sending out a recipe every month, emailing it out to you every month of a recipe that I've tried that I like. You may not like it, but I'm not going to send it unless I at least think it's good. You'll see what my taste is or whatever. But these are good, healthy recipes, are a good alternative to something that you already make, or a better version of what you already may be making. Okay, so go to my website, scroll down, click on there, and subscribe to that. It's free. You can cancel it whenever you want, but let's make this thing happen. I'm excited. I'm waiting to see who I'm going to be sending stuff to. Okay, so let's get that done, and your brain's destiny is in your hands.